Okay, hello guys. Welcome again to Automotive Engineers Corner. Today we talk about process engineer's job. So, process engineer has several jobs to do. I will start with some documentation. So, what documentation needs a process engineer to take care of or create? Process flowchart, PFMEA, so process FMEA. It can be a moderator. It can he or she can be a moderator of it. Of course, PFMEA is never done alone by one person, but the process engineer can have it as a main person, as a leader of the team of PFMEA. And the third one is control plan, but be careful. This is done by the quality engineer. So with quality engineer, but control plan, PFMEA, and flowchart, this is the so-called triangle of the process. So we have flowchart, we have PFMEA, and we have the control plan. They always go together. What does the process engineer do for the documentation? He does as well some work instructions, which need to be exactly following the content of the control plan, PFMEA, and flowchart. Work instructions. So these are the documents. Instructions. These are the documents that go directly on the machines, on the workstations for the people, for the operators that will do the job. Of course, there are a lot of other documents that the process engineer can use. There will be a lot of specs to read, specifications, so specs. But this is not something that the process engineer needs to create. It's more to read. Okay, there can be, of course, some specifications regarding the production lines that he will create. I will show you now. I will show you later how these specs, where is it in the section of the new processes. But now let's talk about the job of a process engineer when the process already exists. So for example, you get a job as a process engineer and you need to take care of the existing running processes that are in the factory. Existing processes. So for the existing processes, we can say you have some production problems. So you need to go there, check, make some problem solving. So let's see, problem solving. Data gathering, so data of the process, data, any kind of data that needs to be gathered. So I would say data collection. And then analyzed. So some Pareto charts or statistics, SPC, we can say here statistical process control will be under this data analysis and collection. Process improvements, of course, improvements wherever needed, wherever anybody has an idea. The process engineer's responsibility is as well to implement or to follow this improvement. Next point is especially because problem solving, it can be some technical problems, but that can be as well quality problems that are coming from the quality department, or maybe there were some customer claims. So this process engineer will be a member of the team 8D team, which will solve the quality problem, because maybe the problem is caused somewhere in the process. So quality claims, I would say quality claims, of course, from the perspective of process engineer, not quality department. So process engineer will be the part on the member of 8D team. What is 8D? If you don't know, we can explain it later, or you can find very easily. Adjusting process parameters is another topic. Adjusting process parameters. This can be a programming of a camera, for example. This can be setting up some temperature or temperature profiles on the soldering machines, something like this. What is super important in this case for the processes, there is a team. There are several teams of different people that process engineer need to work with. Actually, this is about production leaders. So shift leaders, the guys that lead the operator teams. Very important to talk to the operators. It's super important to have a good life with the operators, because the operators know exactly what happens on their machines. So talk to the operators. This is very important, and exchange the knowledge, exchange with them their experiences. What is their proposals of improvements, for example, and what are their pains working on the machine on the everyday basis, because you as a process engineer are not on everyday basis on any machine. You are there from 9 to 5, they are there maybe 3 shifts, different people, different shifts, different problems. Maintenance technicians, these are your, I would say, angels. So maintenance technicians, they are guys that actually help you to solve problems, especially if it's a problem in the process, but it's a technical problem that actually you are not responsible to fix the machine or adjust any nest or to solve really specific technical problem, but you are responsible to fixing it. You always can ask the maintenance guys to help you or help all the people to fix the problem. And of course, for all the quality problems, the QI engineer, so quality assurance engineer, so I will say quality engineers. These are the guys that you will work with as well often. Okay, another topic for a process engineer is new process development. So new processes. For new process, we have a lot of things actually. You need to design a layout. Of a production line. You need to prepare the documentation. We already said about process flowchart, PFMEA, control plan with QE, quality engineer, of course. Another topic is to set up the parameters. So set the parameters, to set up them, to think about the parameters. This is a topic which is as well important for process engineer. There will be a lot of topics. For example, the important subject here is the traceability of parts. So of course it's something. There are different ways to ensure the traceability. The point is there are mostly or always or almost always you need to ensure the traceability of every product that is going out of your production line. So maybe you need to set up some systems that are scanning some barcodes, scanning some QR codes, printing some labels, maybe laser printing some QR codes and numbers on the products, and so on and so on. So traceability topic is a big one. So, of course, to the documentations, work instructions. A lot of work with guys, with operators, with experienced operators, with operators that do similar work with other engineers and so on. So work instructions is a big topic to create. Now, a very technical point and very big point is machines or production lines. I will say machines and tools. You need to order them. Order. You don't need to design them, but you need to order them from a supplier. You need to think about capital expenditures, so capex. You need to think about the budget sometimes. The machines you need to later, when they arrive, you are responsible to test and approve them. So your signature will be on the approval sheets of the machine or of the production line, that the production line is ready to go and ready to run the serial production. For new products or new processes as well, you will implement some Lean Six Sigma philosophy. So the process should be lean. This is more of general rules of making processes, maybe one-piece flow, etc. So it's a more process design. You can do it alone, but normally there are a lot of people involved, so you are not alone to design a process. Of course, you use some lessons learned. So hopefully in the project documentation you will have lessons learned document, which will show as well some already learned lessons, so learned or known problems that you can implement in the PFMEA and in the process flowchart, in the control plan, in the work instructions, in the machines, and so on. So lessons learned is a big point to check what happened in the past and be able to implement the newer version, the better version in your new process that you newly develop. You will, especially in the automotive industry, for the customer, and if you need to show and prove to the customer that your process is running smoothly, you will do the run at rate. So it's a kind of, it's called as well 2-Tages-Produktion, so 2-day production, 2-Tages-Produktion. It's a similar method, but run at rate or 2-day production, these are two methods, similar methods to check that your process can produce the desired output. So for example, in run at rate, in one shift, it will spit out 100 perfectly produced parts, or maybe, I don't know, you can have specific scrap rate, but actually normally run at rate should be ideal. So run at rate is as well a topic to learn more about. So this is the validation as well. You will have the PPAP production, so PPAP parts production, PPAP samples production. So the quality engineer will ask you to prepare some PPAP samples that the quality engineer will then measure and send the results for PPAP approval to the customer. So the last point that is worth mentioning now as a process engineer job will be relocations. So relocations can mean, for example, you have a running production line and the management decided to move it to a location, to another country, for example, which has cheaper labor or cheaper electricity, or for whatever reason, they want to have this production line somewhere else. So your responsibility will be to relocate the whole production line from one factory to the new factory, to another factory. So in this case, another point can be you develop a new process in a pilot factory, which only develops pilot processes. And then you go with this developed process, everything is done, it's maybe approved, and then it goes to somewhere to the factory that is the target factory, where it will be installed for the next years to produce as a serial production. So therefore relocation is as well, or can be as well, a job scope of the process engineer. So in this case, relocation, what other jobs that actually there are, of course, some of these, but relocations you will have as well topics like you need to ensure the smooth stop of the existing process. So stop existing process. What does it mean, stop? So you need to produce maybe some stock, so to ensure when the last production should take place, when is the last day of production after complete stopping the line and preparing to relocation. So this is the as well ensuring that the last production is, or some last samples are stored to have a comparison when you restart the process, to have the comparison of the old process. So it was like this until Friday, then you have 2 weeks relocation, and as from Monday in 3 weeks, there will be new start of new production, and then you can compare the products with your samples that were done, that were produced last time on this production line. So producing some samples is as well good, and producing of course some safety stock for the time of relocation. You need to have some safety stock for the time that the customer cannot, so that customer can be supplied and you have time to do the relocation in a few weeks maybe. The next point of relocation is to design a new layout, because remember, it might not be identical. There are other physical conditions in the new factory. Maybe there is some electricity or compressed air lines and so on. They are in different places, so you need to reorganize the layout. So we can say new layout or redo the layout. Maybe just make some adjustments to the existing layout here. So of course, the organization, we can say organize the whole relocation. There will be people to help you, but I would say in this organized point, you can have like organize some packaging, organize the de-installation of so unplugging of the electricity and compressed air and other installations. Maybe some chemicals need to be emptied from the machines. There are a lot of points that can be here. Be careful. There are or be careful, but as well be calm. There are always checklists, or such organization is a big topic. There are several people or several teams involved. You are not alone. It can be that you are the project manager of this relocation. Just so you need to use some checklists, and then you are good to follow the checklist. What do you need to do to deinstall the production line, pack it, ship it, unpack it on the new location, and then comes the installation on the new location. So I would say install on new location. So this can be as well, or this can be your job as a process engineer in the first factory, or maybe there is another process engineer, the receiving process engineer, that will receive the relocated production line, and then you will or this person will install it on the new location. So it's still the job of the process engineer. So installation of the new location exists according to the new layout. There is sometimes a lot of small issues that were not considered during the planning, and then they will be visible on the physical location. Sometimes something can go wrong, like for example a machine can be damaged or might be damaged because of the transport. So there are several things to take care of, but actually it's really an interesting stuff. And the last point that is important here as a general point is as well test, validate, and produce PPAP samples. So this is of course something exactly like you have when you start a new process. Of course, test, validate samples, and the production line needs to be carried out. Of course, the relocation, the new process, and the existing process, it's always with documentation. So you will still and always be here in this region of your three main documents: flowchart, PFM, actually four documents: flowchart, PFMEA, control plan, and work instructions. This is your kingdom here. In case of new processes, maybe here it's worth to mentioning that you will have project managers or program managers. Project managers are your friends here, or the people that you will work a lot with. Okay, that is it about the process of the job of process engineer. See you in the next video.